Let's check this out. So we've been here checking my profile. That's my ex, So just in case, um, the post I'd like you to share, which you can safely share, is pretty much this one. It's literally just the injuries. I mean, I'm just saying here, like I haven't had any of that, and so my neck and all this shit, if you have to do computer work, yeah, wrist tendonitis and such, you know, same in the arm, the whole left arm, 2 years, 10 months, takes a long time with this one here, yeah. So basically, the post that I was referring to earlier in the story is actually this one. So this one, with the help of AI, yeah, I did pull out these things basically. There's attempted murder by Annika Fischer, or maybe also Mustafa Ono Alpay, because I guess if you try to suffocate somebody by basically trying to cover his nose and mouth in the corner of his daughter's bedroom, like I would say that is that qualifies as attempted murder, and trying to break somebody's neck also, would say qualifies as attempted murder. And if you know anybody, with fucking MMA, background, if you know jujitsu, judo, and shit, you kind of know what people are trying to do to your body, based on, the scramble or the, fucking interaction. And, if in my blood, this is all my blood there, by the way, in the corners still. I mean, it's, now you can't see it, but that was when it was fresh. So, yeah, please tell me about the me wailing, swinging, kicking punches and shit, So this is when, you know, technically a CSI Berlin or so should have showed up, and you're not gonna cause this on yourself or by resisting, like these injuries over here, if you want to, these are the German ones, So if criminal, dirty fucking scum, here in Berlin, then after they then done this to you, yeah, so this is what you sustain basically, this developed here, the tendonitis, and here the tendonitis developed, yeah, basically after sustaining these injuries. And then after this, after traumatic event like this, you are basically, you know put in a fucking psych ward, and then they apply, I guess, psych shit, you know on, the shit that they heard before, like me, supposedly that punched two cops in the face. Now, in the new report that I have here, they're saying, oh, I heard for lightly when they tried to, I guess, strangle, I know, put cuffs on me, which obviously they didn't, there's two other motherfuckers had to come, over there, somehow, because I guess the fuckers, were not able to fucking get me out of consciousness or snap my neck. So, I had to call for backup. And here's the dumb shit over here, So I'm saying money since the 28th of, I was just rude, Basically said, hey, I'm going to send this piece of shit back to you guys, the 28th of March, because, crazy sicko mother of mine, is basically filing for, a legal guardianship, which is supposed to be a hearing the 27th of this month, so this week on Thursday, about that, which is really ridiculous. It is ridiculous. If you know what I wrote, and everything that I ever wrote, since March of 2023, including, supportive evidence, prescriptions, all of this stuff. I have actual, they use this medical report, for example, from the Vivantes, right? That is clearly false, like, proven without a doubt false, right? And this is what they are using over here and rely on to issue more false reports, So this is a real fucked up piece of shit over here in Germany still, yeah? 1,014 days of real fucking corrupt piece of shit, criminal fucking government bullshit over here, Just to let you know, FYI, in case if you ever wondered why, I'm fucking ranting and raging out here so much, and I'm be like fucking rude and talk shit about Germany. I mean, like I'm always saying, not about the, good Germans, but I'm talking about, the fucking German fucking government, the judiciary, and I guess the lack of fucking justice and the fucking impunity that prevails, and how dirty criminal cops and their misconduct is protected by the government, where you legitimately can fucking question the division of power, or how politicized, the fucking judiciary is in general. So you'd be like, yo, real justice? Is this a real democracy? A real government with rule of law? Actually, still, like for me, it is not, So that's why I'm talking about it like that, So for me, it's basically, yeah, 1,014 days of criminal bullshit, leaving a family, or that left a family in poverty, impoverished, fucking, fending for our fucking livelihood, fucking constant struggle for 2 years and 10 months because I got left incapacitated, unable to work with all of these injuries that you saw over there. That I'm still recovering from, and that supposedly without the meds that I actually need, that is the only option that I have left, medicinal cannabis, deprived of that as well. That's why I'm also giving up my German citizenship, because I'm an American since birth. And yes, I was born and raised in Germany, but as an American citizen as well. So, this is what I'm relying on. And you have a fucking family court that basically overruled you, uh, and took away your custody for your child, and they have all, obviously, this Mrs. Backman over here, has my patient paperwork that is still valid, like medical documents are like valid for 10 years in Germany, just to FYI, to let you know. So whatever Knut Gastmeier, the doctor, said back then, if I'm supposed to take the at the bare minimum 0.23 times a day, so zero point 0.6 a gram. And here, if you see that video, by the way, here's the timestamp. That is from my story, this is from the archives. Here I'm smoking tobacco, weed, and hash from the Mauer Park. Then I fill out the psychological DSIG-5, whatever things, yeah, the actual psychological assessment. The S. Kruger lady, yeah, the doctor from here, this Frotzy Kruger, as I call her, like nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found, right? Writes in the report that it was notable that like I started to sweat, like, increasingly throughout the examinations, but neither this Dr. fucking Kös nor this S. Kruger were there to even observe me, on that. And then in the direct feedback, when the person basically skimmed over the fucking forms that I filed after I smoked weed and hash twice, two joints on the way there, yeah. So like one from my house to the train station, then another joint from that fucking place in Spandau to that clinic. Yeah. So I filled that out, and the person said directly there are no psychotic symptoms, right? There are no fucking signs of a behavioral disorder. And this is how they would actually, uh, you know, uh, whatever, put that in the report and send it to the family court. That's what they said. But then, as you can see over here, they prescribed me with the cannabis addiction, with the paranoid delusional whatever disorder that I just don't have, So it's literally wrongdoing on these institutions of this fucking government of Berlin, Germany, I guess, in my opinion, to probably fucking cover up, dirty misconduct by police and other authorities that are technically supposed to help but did do nothing but harm to us as a family. And then you're saying money, right? You want Schmerzensgeld and Schadenersatz, so you want reparations for, damages, losses, injuries, emotional harm, hardship, everything, right? And they just fucking blatantly deny you. They just ignore you, So, just FYI about Germany. So I'm gonna post this on YouTube, this video right now. So, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Thank everybody for watching this video, for watching my stuff. Unfortunately, I have no fresh, crisp cannabis content to show, or even the ability to produce that. So, bear with me. And here also the evidence, so a psychotic person, would not fucking talk about injuries, he would talk about some really fucking whack shit that have fucking has no basis in fucking, reality or logic, would not compute for anyone over here, and this is me, the 17th of February, basically in corona isolation, sick and pain as fuck. Yeah, pain. Like, this is a pain face over here, right there, because, my interior MCL and MPFL was ripped by some Turkish motherfuckers, like probably that fucking Alpine motherfucking son of a bitch. Look at that fucking knee, right? So this was where I was, yeah. So just saying, yeah, if you wonder why did I stay in a psych ward against my will, first of all, corona isolation. Second of all, are you able to walk with this shit? Yeah, probably not. So, that's basically what it is. And then we have another one that is from a day earlier already. This is when my wife got me my phone back, after the fucking criminal police fucking ambush. So here's I'm just laughing about the fucking broken nose because I have MMA experience, practice martial arts, for myself. And yes, we did fucking slugged it out and fought and fucking did shit in the park back in the day, street fighting shit and stuff, like adolescents do and did. And so, my nose has been probably broken a bunch of times throughout my life. It's also slightly crooked, towards the right side. But anyway, so here's the fucking report, from Corona Isolation. You see the cuff marks actually, then you see this little bit of thing you see on the fingers. This is basically from whatever this asshole police motherfucker did when they escorted me out, it's just messing something with my fingers and did some wacky ass shit that still bugs me today, actually, sitting here in front of the computer. And then there's a bit of repetitive content, slightly in a different context or focusing on different scenarios, like, for example, the prosecution using this report to say that I'm unable to assume guilt, so it says a persistent cannabis-induced psychotic disorder is basically what they're saying. Just saying, anybody, with psychosis, schizophrenia, paranoia, they experience fear, and those intrusive thoughts, yeah, they will lead them to act in a certain way, not like me here documenting this thing and talking coherently to you. And also it involves fear. So if I post my fucking home address where you can find me day and night, yeah, out there online, yeah, like, fucking being scared of fucking anything, really, it's not kind of not my thing, specifically not because I practice MMA and did fucking martial arts and shit, so I don't bother much, you know. On that note, and then here, this is the written version, which you can also fucking share, that'll be a good one also, because this one tells it pretty much, and also my countermeasures that like all have been denied, yeah. And so it goes only until, you know, February of this year. And with this is like, 13-minute video, yeah, screen recorded, just to let you know about the ongoing Berlin true crime, yeah. It's literally a fucking crime, German crimes, the basically I'm using foul rhetoric, deliberately, which some people told me already. Well, I find it hard to find empathy for you and for what happened to you, which I kind of think, man, really, yeah. Because technically, I would have expected this to be shared like far and wide already, or I would have expected this to go viral because the offense is crazy. Yeah, mind you, this is the last false medical report that I received. This one here is from this Alexander Ha, yeah, who actually ignored a sick leave, threatened me with police force to let them in to get an exploration. Minimal contact, just biographic info that I gave him. Pissed off, of course, right? About fucking being surrounded in your own living room on the 14th of fucking November of fucking last year, being questioned by that fucking bastard, right? So here again, they referencing a false medical report. So they're actually committing a crime. That's paragraph 279, use of a false medical fucking report. And they just copy pasting over here, right? And then, yeah, they're basically copy pasting it all the way through, because obviously the very first one from the Charité was already false, right? So now this motherfucker, this Alexander Ha motherfucker, son of a bitch, right? This son of a fucking whore, yeah? Pardon my language. Like, I would slap that bitch if I ever see this guy again, really, yeah? Says I have no more free will, yeah? Like that, right? I have no more free will, but as part of my free will, as you can see here and hear me here, if you made it all the way until here, like, definitely like, comment, subscribe if you're into true crime, cannabis and cannabis as a medicine 100, and if you about supporting a cannabis patient, American cannabis patient that got really fucking fucked by the German government, yeah, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you made it that far. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna close it. Hit me up on X or Instagram. You know, if you head over to my shit, X or Instagram, you can see this. Basically, yeah, a bit choppy, bit laggy. I'm gonna shut up in a sec. But yeah, you have me speaking in German, in English, in Spanish, in the highlights, also on Instagram, and there we have, you know, some other very, I guess, foul posts of mine as far as the rhetoric is concerned, because, oh, pardon me, I'm an angry dad that got fucked, you know, because his livelihood, everything, fucking health, everything that is dear to you, like, you know, family first and foremost, and, you know, your health and your work, you know, your livelihood, getting fucked, you know, this kind of like the holy trifecta that this, you know, government of Berlin and those dirty fucking piece of shit cops fucked. And therefore, you know, like, I'm talking the way I talk, right? So here's this again with the false medical. Here I have demandas, you know, even in Spanish, yeah, if I want to pop this up real quick. You know, made it out here real quick. Funny here too, you know, there was people wasted what I'm referencing, you know, the fucking psych ward workers, you know, that let me out, you know, to smoke a cigarillo to lower my pain and shit, you know. And like, so they were threatening me to take away my phone and shit in there, yeah. So that's what I've been saying, because they've, I don't know, whatever, were a bit freaked out and shit. And then here I'm like, you know, in Spanish, shit like this, you know. So here we have the corrupting for a corrupt piece of shit over here. This is again the Alexander Ha, right? And more and more and more, you know. So we got a whole lot of shit, you know, over here in this one. So this is also, unfortunately, you know, you can't see the exact date, but this is on the way to that fucking medical exam, you know. So this was with my wife. That was the first appointment, the 26th of March and shit, you know. So whatever, you know, wherever you want to get into, you know, it's a bit, I guess, scattered and disorganized here and that one. But yeah, like, you can definitely find it, and I guess I recommend my X profile, you know, X account and stuff. But here, this is me already. That was the 23rd of February. Ah, yeah, here it says it even, yeah, 24th of February or something like this. I guess we're gonna put that out. But this is when I basically was somewhat able to walk again. Learned that my grandmother had died the day after I got almost killed by dirty cops. And yeah, then basically checked myself out, you know. He limped out of that bitch, had the door slammed on me by a Atanaris whatever, not fun something, like a fucking bald-headed worker over there. Here's me again. Dude, I'm chilling here. It's not cold really. Hopefully we're getting out pretty soon. Yeah, just checking in, reporting I'm good. My knee's fucked probably because I had some police officers that thought maybe I try my jiu-jitsu a little, but I don't know so much, and that guy must be something, but it was all fucking fake news. And then we're gonna twist somebody's knee, and I'd probably have to do some shit with my knee, and then yeah, surgery. Thoughts on my, but luckily just partially ripped. Yeah, police brutality, you see. So police brutality is what I'm saying from the psych ward the 21st, yeah. So I'm just saying, you know, and then I'm also demanding, you know, body count, etc. You know, here's my elbow, you know, again, injuries. This thing was swollen. This thing was really messed up as well. You know, actually, didn't even know about my shoulder, you know, that thing, you know. I just found that out later then with the MRI that my shoulder was dislocated. Actually popped my own shoulder back in at the fucking Mauerpark, Jan Sportpark, at the fucking bars, you know. So just to let you know on that one as well, you know. So yeah, with that, 20 minutes into the video, if you made it that far, you know, if you want to support me, share this stuff. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share the first pin post on X. That would help me a lot. Costs you less than 30 minutes of your time, I guess, or less than 30 seconds of your time overall, and it would help my family and myself a great deal, you know, because exposing these judges, prosecutors, and police officers by name and this government for what it's done, you know, may uh, bring some sense or fucking punch some sense into their fucking heads to finally, you know, send over the fucking transfer and fucking pay us the reparations so we finally leave this country. Anyway, so appreciate you all. Thank you for listening so long, and that video is going up on YouTube. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, everybody.